And we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome, Aley Martin from Heart and Soul Connected. For
Thank you, Jean.
anybody out there that does not know Aley, she runs an amazing YouTube channel and it's called Heart and Soul Connected. Thank you for coming, Aley.
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking me to come. I'm thrilled to be here with you, Jean. Thank you.
So I wanted you to come and I wanted to talk to you about some things about how you got started on your YouTube channel. And I
Okay.
think I'd like to just get right into it because I have a lot that I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
So, how did you first decide to go onto YouTube?
Well, when things went kind of deep south with the election and all that political stuff, I started watching more YouTube and went in and said, I'm going to check some of the psychics and see what they have to say, or the tarot readers at that time. And then I got my husband into it because it was summer of 2020 and we were both home. So, I used to listen to it all the time. My music, I would listen to it, or I might watch the news on there that I missed or whatever. And I found Linda G right away, and I also found Andrea Lilac Lantern. And we had a reading with her, and she was like, "You guys should have a channel." Or she said it actually to Keith. And I thought, yeah, we should. I said, I can help you with it because here I am teaching and he's doing nothing from home. And he said, oh, yeah, maybe I will, So we did it. And I think he lasted 2 weeks. And then he said, this isn't for me. And I said, well, I'm not leaving. I mean, I was hooked. So, yeah, that's how I got.
Wow. Lucky us, lucky us. And thank you,
Uh,
Andrea and Linda G, for suggesting that you start your own channel. Well, I just like to welcome some newcomers coming in on the chat here. Terry Suzuki is in the chat and Wisdom Seeker Joan. Hi, everybody. Butterfly Kisses Healing, Beverly Davis, and Lark Kemper was here, and Pierrette is here. Keep
great.
Alliance. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yeah.
And I know that there are some people who are watching from Facebook. And if you are, you can come on over to YouTube, Sun Psychic Jean, if you'd like to participate in the chat. Today, I'm just going to be interviewing or discussing some spiritual concepts with Aley. She has a wealth of knowledge. She has an amazing experience, and all of this combines and comes out into this beautiful wisdom that she adds. And you blow my mind when you come up with these things and you're like, oh yeah, I did that when I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
I've lived a lot of lives in one life. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So how did you connect with Susan Lin and start doing that series? Because
So I started watching Susan Lin, and I thought she was having a really difficult time at the time trying to answer questions, run the chat, and do what she does so well. And I thought, she needs to have a Linda to her Sterling, if you know what I mean,
right, right.
And so I wrote to her. First of all, I interviewed her, and her birthday is the same birthday as Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
And the first thing I asked her was, "Does Freddie Mercury have have a message for me?" And she's like, she didn't know him at all. She didn't know that much about him. She knew some of the songs, but she didn't know anything. And she's telling me stuff that you'd think she would have known. So afterwards, I wrote her and I said, Susan, I would love to work with you if you're interested. I said, I can, be the person that really just asks the questions and checks the chat and does all that stuff. And I'd love to have you. So we committed to this. First, it was figuring out what night of the week was going to work the best. And then, of course, we settled on a Sunday. And so it became Speaking to Spirit. And then you get burned out. You get burned out. And it's a commitment. And as well, Jean, because you took over for Susan and do very well. And it's such a pleasure to host you as well. So,
oh.
yeah.
Wow, that's just amazing, and that along with all of your other series, and you developed series. You were always stepping out, stepping ahead, getting new concepts in, and new people to interview, and it is just amazing the different the different people, the very profound and expertise and introduction to ideas and things that maybe some of us may not even have learned about before in the past.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's really
I've
fascinating.
had some surprises. I really have. Like, I think it was Louise came on, and she was doing that. She does channeling, and it was like ET channeling. I don't know, and she would make blip blap and move, and it was a little strange at first, but it was so cool to see somebody do something I'd never seen before. So, thank you. I like finding talent, and we have so many talented people, really.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing. I really, really love your series on the tarot card. Oh, I lost the term. The archetypes for the tarot cards that you do.
Oh, the archetypes. Yes. Yep. For the major arcana.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating. I learned
Uh,
so much, and the background and the detail that you bring forward in the card, it's just really fascinating. I learned so much from you, and
oh,
this
that's good.
you have like this cadence. You have, I mean, obviously, you're at a if nobody knows, Allie is a professor for college university level, and she is an excellent teacher, and she brings this quality along with her experience and her knowledge, and your ability to articulate and to tell a story is just really, really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. It's really developed over the 23 years of teaching that I've done, but I've always tried to, I was always interested in that aspect of things. And I have a lot of students tell me, if they can't understand something, can you give me another way of looking at it? And then I bring that in, and I try to, so that people don't walk away confused, at least. And I'm hope that I'm doing that as well in that forum, which it sounds like I might be. So, but
Well,
yeah.
it's just a perfect combination, and how lucky are we that we are benefiting free. You don't charge for these YouTube shows, it's free, and you're putting it out for everybody, and we're learning a wealth of knowledge. We're developing an understanding and a perspective based on, the information that you bring through. So it's
Hmm.
really it's amazing, and I really
Thanks.
do admire you for doing that.
Oh, thank you.
So, so what would be one of your first introductions to spirituality? I mean, other than, so when you were brought up under a religion, and then what about other than religion? What was the first spirituality concept that you encountered?
So I belong to the International Order of Rainbow Girls, which is the young girls what is the word, section of the Masonic Order, basically.
Wow.
And so learned a lot about color, and because the colors of the rainbow all are had specific meaning. In this case, it was more Christian based, but it really opened up a lot of doorways, because there was a lot of esoteric information that was in there as well. It just wasn't and it was a secret society. Oops, am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I sometimes you freeze, and I didn't know if I was okay. So it's secret in that I think it's more meant to be sacred, not like. But we had handshakes and all this other stuff, and so I went through all the ranks, and then I ended up as Grand Faith to the state of New Hampshire when I was in college, and so that really was a strong foundation. I did teach Sunday school, but I taught it in a way that probably wasn't taught by everybody that way. I like the fifth graders. I wanted to be a fifth grade teacher at the time. So,
Wow.
yeah, I had that. And my mother was very open to things. She read a lot of Ruth Montgomery. She was psychic herself. And so she wasn't afraid of anything that I was interested in. As a matter of fact, when I was in sixth grade, they gave me a Ouija board for my birthday. I don't think they realized that probably wasn't such a good idea. But,
I think it
at
was
the
sold
time,
as a game. Yeah.
I know it was sold as a game. Yeah. And unfortunately, it didn't make me go down the hole here. But yeah. So yeah, I had very supportive parents about things that I was interested in. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So when did you encounter the Buddhist philosophy?
Before I did that, it was in the 90s. I was living in Panama City, Florida, and I got into the Native American spirituality first. And I went to all these powwows and all these medicine wheels and all that stuff. And I had a beautiful teacher who, again, taught free. And I learned all about the stones. I learned all about the sacred shamanic stuff. And then it was almost a natural segue for me to then become interested in Buddhism. And I was in my master's courses in mid 90s and took Hinduism and Buddhism, Islam, and there was another sort of religious, spiritual type thing that I taught, and I got to learn a lot. And of course, I studied Lao Tzu with and the runes as well. So I tried to come from all different directions and see which one seemed to fit me for the best fit. But I consider myself to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you took these college courses when you were in college. And if you
Mhm.
don't mind me asking, at what period and time in your life did you start these classes? Were you 18
Yeah.
years old or?
No, no. I had gone to school right out of high school. And I was told I was a C student and I'd never be anything more than a C student. And that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. So by the time I was in my 40s, there was a master's program that was happening of all things, Houston Baptist University. And it was a liberal arts program. And I called the guy and I said, my grades are not the greatest from my undergraduate. I said, I think I got a 2.2 or 2.3, which is like 70%, really bad. I said, but I've read everything, done everything since in the 20 something years since then. And I'd like to be given an opportunity. And he said, oh, I don't have a problem with that at all. People change and grow. And so I started the college classes, and I immediately started getting A's, and I thought to myself, oh my God. So I tell young people, if don't worry about a C when you're 18 years old. You're going to grow and you're going to learn, and you don't have to go right into college from high school. You can wait a little bit and be
Wow.
prepared. And my son did that. He waited a year, and then when he went in, he was really serious. So
Wow.
I think that's a good thing to
So
live.
you got married, had kids, raised your kids, and then went to college again for all of these courses that enabled you to
Yeah.
be a professor. Wow.
Yeah, I was working at a tax office at that time, because I did
You
taxes and
need
banking
books.
for 30 years. Yeah, 30 years I did that.
Are
Yeah.
you writing a book? You need to write a book.
Oh no. But and I'm not a math person, but I loved all of that. And it was teaching people how to save
Oh,
their receipts and how to do well on their tax or get a mortgage or something. So my son was being homeschooled by me. My daughter was a first year student at the junior college, and I was going for my master's degree, and we used to do our homework together.
oh
We'd
my
sit
God.
around and we'd work together, and one of them would say, this is interesting, listen to this, and we'd tell each other things. And it was like a family affair. Really worked out well. It did. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, how
Yeah.
beautiful. All of that manifested and just occurred in your life in
It did.
perfect order.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. Wow. So how many states have you lived in?
11.
She says that like it's every day.
So we play a game in my first year writing class, and I said, I want you to tell me two truths and a lie. And of course, I get a lot of international students. Oh no, I know it lie. I don't want to lie. And I said, no, no, it's a game. It's a game. But so then I do a two truths and a lie. So I say, I've lived in 11 states. I've been married 4 times, and I have a black belt in karate. And they're like, oh, you could never have been married 4 times. Oh, you've never lived in, and then of course you don't have the black belt. I only had a brown belt. That was my lie. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've lived a lot of lives in one life.
Where did you find time to get a brown belt? That's like, how long did it take you to get there?
2 years, 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And the
Okay.
only reason that I stopped is I hurt my back. And I was going to a chiropractor at the time who really kind of saved everything. And now, of course, I married one. My fourth husband is a chiropractor. So it's like, you know what? I don't want to pay anymore. I just marry the guy, you know?
It's
Yeah.
a little cheaper.
It's a cheaper. Yeah. It's a cheaper deal. Yeah, absolutely.
It is absolutely fascinating. Just the amazing diversity and experience and it just you have such a wide it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I so appreciate all of your experiences, all of the ups and downs so that you are here now. And this is what throughout our lives we run into obstacles, we run into problems, we run into heartache and things like this that
Yeah.
bring us and catapult us to the place where we're ultimately meant to be. And the wisdom that we gain, your soul is so must be so satisfied. Your soul's purpose must be feel so fulfilled because you've just followed your spirit every
Well,
step, every
yeah,
turn.
it's Joseph Campbell always said, follow your bliss. And my brother used to tell me that all the time too. He was very metaphysical as well. And yeah, and when you follow your bliss, you'll find yourself on the path that you need to be on, and everything, all doors will open for you. And we can see that for people that are here having channels like yourself. You followed your bliss. You enjoy doing it. It brings you joy. So
It
that's
does. It
awesome.
does.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what would you say is a book that really helped you to gain perspective in spirituality and understanding your own spirit? Is there any?
Um, yeah, there is a book, and I recommend it. It's my only one I really always recommend to everybody to read. It's not a pleasant book, but it's very, very important, and it's called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl,
Oh,
and it's about his time in the Nazi uh, prisoner war camp and the things that happened to him. But my whole perspective shifted not only on how he got through that, but the way that he did and the way that he used his mind in order and how other people who were stronger than him weren't able to do that because they didn't have the power of the mind like
the
he
spirit.
did. Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, it was life changing. And then my daughter read it. She agrees. And we've read it like 20 times. And my son read it. And then we all, and it's an older book. It's a book that's been around for a long time. But when we're searching for the meaning of our lives, it's important to look to something like that. And I have seen that there are a lot of students who have read it. And after they've read it, we talk about death and dying in the classroom. And I said, I don't want to be morbid, but everybody's going to face someone that passes away, whether it be, our parents or a friend or whatever. I said, we need to be comfortable discussing death and what it means. So we go from it from that perspective. And then if they feel called to it, they can always follow up on reincarnation or whatever it is that they're interested in. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. I remember Oprah was very struck by that book, and it really changed her perspective. And
Yeah.
she had Victor, I think, on the show, and they went back to the original scene. And yeah,
Uh-huh.
so he's
Yeah.
he's he's phenomenal, and he's here to teach all of us.
He
And
is. I think he just passed in 97 or something. I mean, he was around for a long time. Mary, the book's name is Man's Search for Meaning, and his name is Viktor Frankl, Frankl. He was Austrian or German. Yeah. Sorry. Just wanted to
no,
know. Yeah.
I don't know. You can't help it. You can't
Uh,
help it.
yeah.
Hi, everybody that's joining in. I see
Yeah.
Ruth and the Crone Zone and Starfish and
Nice to meet
Mary.
you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just really want to pay close attention to Allie here. She has so much to share with all of us, and I just want to listen. listen, and Nancy and AD, Wisdom Seeker Joan, Sherry, Luke, JK, everybody. Thank you all for being here.
Hmm.
So what I wanted to, have you ever read the book or encountered The Art of Happiness by the Dalai Lama?
Oh, yes. He's my favorite person in the world. I love him. Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
It has really changed my life. It changed my perspective, and I just wrote some
Mhm.
notes here that,
Good.
one of the keys to happiness is to change your perspective, and, to cultivate compassion and altruism,
Mhm.
and there's a oneness that, we understand about everyone we meet is a mirror, and what
That's right.
is inside of us is inside of them, and
Mhm.
this basic fundamental, it's so fundamental. The understanding about this is came to me in such a point in my life, and people were, I had a very, I may have mentioned this before, but I'll just say real quick, I had a very difficult manager at work, and few years or several many years back, and um, she was just horrible. She was horrible, and she was a compulsive liar. And
Oh,
so everybody in the office used to, you know, have a lot of disdain for her and say, "Oh, she's terrible," and we'd all, you know, gang up on her and stuff. And I would say somebody must have treated her very poorly for her to behave like that.
that's right.
People
That's right.
don't, they're not born like that. She must
Right.
have been, you know, lied to and told these things, the things that she says about other people and stuff. You don't know where somebody's originates from, and you have
Right.
to, it's important to have compassion and understanding and give people grace for
Yes.
not for making mistakes, not for behaving badly, not for lying,
Right.
but
Right.
just to understand how, if it was me and I was brought up in her life and I was treated the way she was treated and I had the obstacles she did, I would probably behave very similarly.
They were just really having a bad day. They were having or they were really shy and they didn't feel comfortable in their own skin. And you don't realize that until you have your adult pants on, really. Because
Right?
you don't think about it that way. You think that it's something about you that's creating the problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. It's it was something that really gave me a lot of meaning in my life, and
Hmm.
understanding about how giving grace, it's all the heart virtues, it's happiness, I mean, I'm sorry, it's balance, it's freedom, it's
Hmm.
compassion, it's
Hmm.
kindness, and
Right.
um, let me see what I wrote down: respect, appreciation, um, goodness, kindness,
Hmm.
acceptance. It's really, it sounds like words, but if we try to apply them, and especially when we have a catalyst, when we have somebody like a very um, a, a, a boss that is just causing you total havoc,
Hmm. Hmm.
to give that person compassion, and to practice my own patience and
Right.
um, my own sense of I am okay, and no matter what you say, I'm okay. You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
she really exercised this in me, and um, I was very traumatized from working with her, and
Oh,
you
sure.
know,
Sounds like you would be. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the growth that I achieved from having this situation and having to deal with it and
Uh-huh.
having to overcome it, and then learning about, you know, how I did it and why I did it,
Yeah.
um, really just changed my entire life. And when I came across this book, The Art of Happiness, it really gave me the perspective and the tools and the language and just the practices, or
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
apply to my own life. It's
That's
very
awesome.
simple and it's very fundamental.
It is. And actually, he's so much fun to listen to. He's so wise. And he always says his religion is kindness. He doesn't even say that, because Buddhism is a philosophy only. You can be a very devout Christian and still follow Buddhism. There isn't anything about it that they have no God concept, really. There's no savior. Yes, there's a little Buddha that's really cute and he got enlightened, but he was just a man. And but the Dalai Lama has always touched me in profound ways, because he's just the most compassionate and loving man, that he just oozes. He oozes that, and it's not fake. It's very, very, it's very real. Yeah.
And it comes with time, it comes with practice, it comes with sort of like that peeling of the onion. Like I thought, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, now I know I can love my enemies, but guess what? The next enemy that comes around, not enemy, but catalyst
Yes.
that causes
Right.
difficulty in my
Friction.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I learn it again and I learn it
You
again
do,
and I learn
because
it again.
everything around you and everyone around you is your teacher, and if you can see that, then you can also know that you teach others, and you
Yes.
don't really know the message that you're giving them unless you really speak with intention. And that's important, because if your intention is to be hurtful, then it will come across that way. But if you say to yourself, my intention never is to hurt, then hopefully somebody at least will feel that you are just being genuine and authentic, and that's important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the Dalai Lama also says, which I thought was really important, or the book of the Art of Happiness also instructs that there's no joy in the suffering of others. And this
Right.
is something that I hear Linda G say. You can't be gleeful for somebody
Right.
else having a difficult time in their life.
Yeah.
They behaved a certain way, and there are consequences to their behavior. But it's not
Mhm.
for us to be joyful about this.
Not really what spirit wants us to do, to be that. Yeah, that's joyful.
Well, it's a matter of compassion and a mirror. I mean, and
Yeah.
seeing them as a spiritual being and
Yes.
seeing them as you. And what
Hmm.
would you want others to be gleeful that you had something
Yeah.
terrible happen to you, or that
Yeah.
you were learning a lesson in the middle of, and on the world stage, and not making any excuses. I mean,
Oh, I
there's
know. No, I know what you're saying. No,
but
because
there's
it is
just a
hard to balance that, because this has really been troublesome for us. So yeah, and there was a lot of intention that was not good intention, backed by
no,
that.
nothing was
Everything.
good. No,
Right.
what it is not for us to be joyful or to be gleeful.
We're not the
Uh,
judge. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
the
Right.
judgment. Perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
wish them well, you wish them
I know.
enlightenment, you
Yeah.
send them
And
blessings.
something that, probably
Well,
was
what
a
it
good.
is it's a way of keeping our own happiness, our own sanity, our
Yes.
own pure resonance, and not to judge and not to
Hmm.
condemn others. It is not our place to do that. It is society, there's
That's right.
societal laws, but it's not for us to taint our own being and
Right. Right.
be filled with hatred or filled with thoughts. There's
Yeah.
so much to life that is absolutely pure, blissful, joyful,
It is.
beautiful,
It
uplifting,
depends
and
on what you focused on. Yeah.
exactly. Do we want to practice happiness? Why do we want to practice
Mhm.
compassion? Why do we want to have forgiveness and acceptance and grace and why do we all want to do this? Why can't we just be judging and say this person's terrible, that person's terrible, and have righteous anger all the time? Why do we
Mhm.
not want to do this? It's simple. It's frequency and it's
Yes, it is.
vibration.
Vibration. Absolutely.
And it holds us down, it holds us back, and it's a negative, lower energy.
It is. It is. I don't know if you've ever heard of David Hawkins, but he's kind of a scientific guy. Yeah, you like him. Whenever he did the vibrational energy of different things to see, the levels of vibration that came along with it, that blew my mind. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know it. I didn't know it was that vast. It had everything in there. It had, it had feelings and emotions, but it also had religions and, all kinds of things. And he did it through muscle testing. So if you ever get a chance to read, I think it's called is it the Power? Something Power.
I don't have the name of the book,
He
but if
has
somebody
like
can look
10
it up,
books.
yeah,
I
right.
try to pick the first one and go from there if you like it. And it's amazing. It just blew, and I'm not a scientific person, but I was able to understand what he was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dr. Emoto with the water and the
Right.
words, how powerful our words are, the
Oh, definitely.
vibration, the
Uh-huh.
intention, the
Yeah.
thoughts are our thoughts are so powerful, and
Yeah.
it all goes back to the indigenous peoples that had a compassionate, balanced tribe where they had one person who would. Remedy if somebody was out of line or
Hmm.
somebody did something to hurt somebody, they gave them sort of like a penance or a way to atone for their bad behavior, but
Right.
everybody would still love them. Nobody would shun them. Nobody would say
No.
you're bad, you're
Right.
ugly, or because it doesn't serve the mass. It doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't bring us to a new higher vibration and
Yeah.
it,
We're
yeah,
stuck. We're sort of
right.
stuck. Yes. Thank you. It is Libra Lady and Miss Charlotte. Power versus Force is the name of the book. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I learned the most, and I'll never forget this, was, having gone through elementary school in the 60s and high school in the 70s, you learned all about the Civil War or whatever from the bad guys, cowboys and the Indians. Cowboys and the Indians. And you never wanted to be an Indian because boy, oh boy, they were terrible. They'd scalp you, they'd do this, they'd do that. And when I got older and I started learning all the ways of the Native Americans, because finally we changed the name, I was astounded. Why didn't someone tell me this before? What the heck's going on? And then Dances with Wolves came out. And that changed my life. It was like, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. And we have screwed over our Native American people. And we have to own that. We have to own it. It's not right. We can't change it, but we don't have to continue doing those things. But just the beauty. They were only responding to how they were being pushed away, pushed out, pushed out, pushed out,
Absolutely. I felt the
Mhm.
same way when I learned the truth. I thought I was
Yeah.
lied to. I thought I was cheated. I thought how
Yeah.
I was embarrassed to
Yep.
have this color skin. I
Me
was
too.
really very,
Yeah.
very, very sorry and sad to hear the
Hmm.
truth, to
Right.
hear the truth. And why wasn't it? This is
Hmm.
the entire human race needs to it's important for us to come together and
Right.
raise our vibrations, to have compassion, to have grace, and with each individual person who or problem that comes up that is wrongful aggression on somebody who did not deserve it, it should be corrected and balanced, but in
Absolutely.
in a humane way with a society agreement.
Yep. Because
Um,
there's always a group of people that get shunned. Always. If it isn't this one, it's that one. Or now, now I believe it's more like the LGBTQ, although African Americans are still having a problem because it was all brought back, and the way that it was brought back all that hatred and all that anger, and just really
mhm.
makes me sick.
And it's
Yeah.
it's it's very easy for us to get into this cycle, to be led into it, and it's a natural reaction.
Hmm.
However, it's understandable to have anger and disgust and outrage, but you don't live there.
No, you don't.
You
Right.
process it, and
Right.
uh, bring your spirit back to a vibration and a level
I,
that is going to be helping
right.
the world.
And it's saying, okay, that happened, and I empathize now. I understand now,
Yeah,
and now I lift them up with me. Absolutely. Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
right. Forgiveness,
Forgiveness.
learn, and
For
don't
self
repeat.
too. For what we were taught as children that isn't isn't really politically correct or even nice anymore. So, yeah.
I
Mhm.
know. I know. I know. I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
And we do have to forgive ourselves for not being told the truth and for
Right.
being under believing something. But we all know better now, and that's why the internet and all this information
That's right.
and and that's why we can support people around the world who are who are suffering. And I just feel it's really very important.
When
I
we know
love
better, we do better. We can,
exactly.
yes, absolutely. Yep.
This is what I love so much about you, Allie. You have
Oh,
a this is beautiful,
no,
beautiful, and I hear it. It comes out of your mouth. It comes out of your heart when you look at us. When you're on the YouTube and you're giving your readings, it comes from a place that is pure wisdom, and I just really so
thank you.
appreciate just um, you sharing all this with us and your generosity. I mean, I'll never forget. I tell this story all the time that Allie says, "Oh, you guys want to practice? Come practice on my channel." Who says that?
Though, Jean, I got to give credit where credit is due for any wisdom or knowledge that I know. I've read a lot of books. I've listened to a lot of people. Really, what I'm saying hasn't been said before because there is no real new, if you know what I mean. But I think that it can get lost. And I think that, there's a whole new generation out there that, or even our own generation, yours and my generations that didn't get that information. And so to repeat it and to offer it as a way of healing, as a balm, sort of, that is my pleasure. If I can remember all the things that sometimes I wish I could remember everything that I learned, but thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Your voice. Ooh, I am having a thunderstorm again. It's almost every
Oh,
afternoon around here, but
oh
so
dear. Okay.
here's some thunder. And Valerie's here. Valerie, I told you that the last time when I was on her show, I was like this, and the screen froze, and yeah, it was really funny. But Valerie was so kind to me. She was like, "Oh, let me take this down. I'll have to run the blooper."
Oh, that's
That's
cute.
I can't believe I just really there's so much that I admire about you. There's so much
Oh,
that
you're
I
so
feel
sweet.
we have in common. I mean,
Uh-huh.
my Tara over here,
Your
my
green terror.
goddess of compassion,
Uh-huh.
and we both it's just it's
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
somebody
I
we
mean,
really feel close to. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's the divine feminine. It's
Mhm.
the compassion. It's the spirit, and you understand the spirit. You understand the vibration, the color. I mean, and she just told me as we were coming on that she bought some tuning forks for her chakras and her aura, and I was like, wow. I mean, what doesn't this woman do?
I
Yeah.
feel bad because I'm sure my husband looks at my Amazon bill and goes, "Oh gosh,"
No, it's lovely. And your card reading,
It's
you
grown a
have
little bit. Yeah.
really improved.
Yeah.
And what it is it's not the actual technique or ability, it's the trust
Uh-huh.
that what you're feeling and what you're sensing when you pick up that card, to trust the first thing that you
Right.
are sensing and to share it. And this is
It
so
took a
important.
while for me to feel that. It really did. But I feel so much better about it. But some days, though, and I think you go through them yourself with your psychic stuff, you're like not as on top of it as you are some other. I don't know what that's all about, but I have to just say, well, maybe I was wrong. But yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the we make it I don't know if we make it look easy, but I feel as though some may say, "Oh, look how easy it is for them," but it is really hard. It
it
is
can be. Yes.
really
Uh-huh.
difficult,
Yeah.
to get the motor going, the connection going, and to get the juice flowing, coming in, and, to have the words that you share once you get this information, and to do it with grace, with tact, with, compassion, with, you know, just trying to tiptoe around certain situations that people may have or
Yeah.
may be
Yeah.
feeling.
Uh-huh.
It takes a lot. It really does, and
But think
it's
about this. You guys are amazing because when you do even Susan said she didn't think when she first came on, she didn't think she was going to be able to be a medium um, like like that, on TV, whatever in the show. And I said, do the best you can. We can always just read cards or pull a card or whatever. And she said, this is not easy, folks. And I know that I can see that. And because when you go to a medium and you say, I'd like to hear from somebody, and whoever comes through the medium will tell you, but usually you don't go in and go, hi, I want to hear from Uncle Harvey. And so the things that these ladies do blow my mind completely because it takes a little bit of time sometimes, but nothing like what a lot of people have to do. It's like you're instantaneous. It's like you plug yourself into the wall and there you go. It's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It takes a while to get revved
Yes.
up. But wow. So, Allie, tell me about your puppies. Are you a rescue? Like, is this something you've done for many years, or
Not really, no.
okay?
Okay, so I had a dog pass, and that was really like the love dog of my life, and she was a little Sheltie, and I was so despondent about it. My friend told me she had a dog she was ready to retire, and that dog is a loving love bug. It was a Shih Tzu, and I said, okay, I'd like to take her. I think she was 5 at the time, and she was in Maine, and I'm out here in
Oh
Seattle,
my
So
gosh.
I wrote on Facebook and I said, anybody coming out to the Seattle area? And actually, one of my sorority sisters was. And so that was very fortuitous. And so she and her husband brought little one, that was my first one, to me, and sight unseen and everything else. And she was awesome. They were awesome to do that. So little one lasted, I think, 7 or 8 years, but she was very ill at the end. And so April of 2020, she died, and I was devastated. And so I was looking around, and I wanted another one that was about 5 or 6 years old. That was a breeding dog that was, all done. And I found one in Yakima, and the lady said she's pregnant right now, but we're going to fix her, and you can have her. You can have her after that. So we went down with our masks and all our stuff at the time, and we got her. And she was just a sweetie. So then the next April, my Labrador died because I had a lab and a Sheltie, and the Sheltie still another Sheltie, and she's still alive. And my husband was devastated, just devastated. So I said, I'll find us another dog. Well, I couldn't, but I found a puppy. That's where April Joy comes in. Because
Oh,
we had 2 die in April, so she was the April Joy. And so I will never have a puppy again as long as I live, I hope, because she's still a puppy, and she's like 16 months old. And then my husband took the dogs up there to the office, the 3 of them, and I had no dogs down here because I'm down here most of the time. And I found this one, and she's 10, almost 10. She'll be 10 in October. And
wow.
yeah, it's like I've had her for 10 years. But she didn't come from a very good, situation. She was also a breeding dog. So you can always ask people who do have animals that they breed because they're supposed to retire them within a really reasonable amount of time, not have them have tons of litters. You can pay maybe $200 to $350 for the dog. So usually you pay about $2,300. So
Wow.
it's and you're helping and rescuing a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. And our pets bring so much joy to our
Oh,
lives and really enrich our lives. And, um, they say we live longer and we're
we
healthier
do.
and we're happier and they bring us joy. They make us laugh.
Yep.
And it's just
Yeah.
so beautiful, Allie. You many different dimensions, and I could sit here and interview you for another hour. But
Yes.
it is we have. What do you think? Do you feel like pulling a couple of cards? We have about 15 minutes
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
or so, and
Yeah,
everybody's been so patient
they
in the
have been.
chat.
Yep.
If you would like to ask for a reading from Allie, Allie and myself, just a quick reading, maybe just a spiritual reading, or pull a card for me, and I'll see what we can pick up for you.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll stay for another 15 or 20 minutes. Aw, cute dog, she's saying, Libra lady.
Oh, thanks, honey. Thanks. She's
Yeah.
a dog. She's her name is Caramel. It's because of her color, and I've never really seen every. She kind of actually looks like a cocker spaniel in some ways, and she also looks like a poodle with the runny eyes. But she's a good girl. And
Oh,
she always knows when I'm done. And when I say bye, everybody, she immediately comes over and wants to be with me because she leaves me alone usually. But if she wants to come, I always pick her up. Oh, we've got
so
some questions here. All right.
I see JK. Can I have a spiritual reading? What do I need to know about my gifts?
All right.
So we'll probably just take total of 4 questions. I have 2 so far. I have Nancy Riker.
Carol
Yeah.
Lamb wants one.
Oh, okay, Car. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it.
And Cece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All
Cece.
right, that's it. We're
Okay.
good. We're good
We're good
since we're
for
only
the,
doing the
good for the
last couple
time.
of minutes. But we need to send you guys some appreciation and for coming out and holding
Absolutely.
space for us. And we have the most amazing community.
Oh, the best. Just the best. Just amazing is right. I don't think a spiritual community can go one way or another. It can not be good sometimes because a lot of egos get in the way. I'm not seeing that in this community. I haven't seen it. So, yeah. Yep.
It's beautiful. We keep each other in check, right?
That's right. That's right, Jean.
All right. Let me see if I can
So, voucher
wrap.
gifts. All right. Right.
So, JK, what I'm feeling for you is that you have a lot of empathy, and you also um,
Mm.
trying to think of a different term. You can pick up on other people's energy. You're sensitive to other people's energy, and they used to call it like ESP. Like you could kind of guess what somebody's thinking or feeling, or like you're just very sensitive to other people's moods, other people's thoughts, other people's vibration. Whatever they're feeling, you're sensitive to it. So if somebody's sitting by themselves reading a book, you can tell whether or not you want to walk up to them and ask them if they're okay, or if they're really enjoying there's like an unspoken understanding that
Mm.
you have.
Awesome.
Very nice.
There you go. So, I have here that you need to celebrate. You are fulfilling your destiny. Look at the Buddha shows up. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, you have understanding and reflection. Then that's kind of what Jean just said. You're able to read people as you go by, and you're in the flow. You're very fluid, and so there's no resistance. Just keep not resisting. Just keep going with the flow. The flow is the most beautiful place to be.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're tuned in. You're tuned into the hum. That's
that's right.
beautiful, Allie.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. Okay, so we have Cece next. And Cece, I love your icon. It's very similar to mine. It's
Oh, yes,
beautiful.
it is. That's
Uh,
beautiful.
spiritual reading.
Okay.
And this is Carol, I guess. Cece is
Okay.
Carol. Thank
All
you.
right.
Carol, I'm seeing music around you. I'm seeing like orchestra music around you, and specifically wind instruments. And this is the breath of life. This is the pure essence of humanity. Is if we're breathing, we're alive. If we're sentient beings breathe. It's such a fundamental aspect to our spiritual and soul essence that we're breathing here on Earth, and it's an art form that brings spirit through it. I'm not sure if you have anything to do with wind instruments, or if this is just what they're showing me in order for me to give you this message that that it's through our breath. It's through our with each breath you connect with your spirit. I'm not sure if you do breath work. There's something very much in breath, wind instruments. It's very interesting.
Wow.
I hope that means something to you,
That's
Cece.
really cool. That's really cool. So I have here, Cece, that you make resonant choices and use signature signals with your thought vibrations. So it could be even that you're hearing music in your mind because there's a lot going on and you're able to tap into it. And especially when you're outside, the elementals speak to you, nature spirits. And when you were talking about the woodwinds, I know it's an instrument, but I'm thinking about the woodwinds as well. And
Make sure
so
they see the cards better.
that's okay. Yeah. And you can see the little gnome there and the little, look at this. Isn't that playing?
That's
Look.
beautiful. Look, at there he is.
There it is. There it is. And there's a fairy with the bird. Oh my goodness. Perfect.
Now, you're going to have to let
And
us know what deck that
yeah,
is when you're done. Go ahead.
and balance. You have you just need to balance it. You just need to balance your spiritual life and your physical life, making sure that you take time for each. But I love this one about the about the
Uh,
music. Yeah. It's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Whew. That was
Mm-hmm.
really neat, CC. Really neat. And
Yes,
I'll
it
look.
is.
I'm not looking at the comments because I'll lose my place. But look, and
I know.
we only have two more: Carol Lamb and Nancy Riker. So we're
Uh-huh.
with Carol. Card for me,
Mhm.
please. Okay, Carol.
Oh, Cece loves nature. Okay, good.
Mm. Thank you, Allie.
Mhm.
So they're showing me yoga, Carol. That it's suggested that we bring spirit into our body through yoga, through each breath in and out. And I know the Zone ladies love yoga. I'm going to ask them about it too. But this is something that you can bring in the energies and move energy through your body by doing yoga, by doing stretching, by doing breathing and stretching. This is really fundamental for you to bring you seem to be very cerebral and thinking and in thought and planning, and they want you to
Mm.
bring this down into your body and to ground your energy through yoga. Oh, sorry, I didn't have
So
my thing up. Did she see me? I'm sorry.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was really interesting, Carol. Very nice. What
Yes.
did you get, Allie?
So Carol, I pulled a card and then I thought I need to know more about this, and so I did pull the second one, but I think this will resonate with you. The first card I got was "It is what it is," and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know about that card. Although we have to accept that things are as they are, but in what regard? Listen to the animals. And I know you
Wow.
have horses. And so it's asking you, I know you're outside a lot. And I haven't seen, I saw her this morning on my show, but I haven't seen Carol for a long time. And I'm so glad to have her back. And of course, with that last name, Lamb, well, listen to the animals. That's awesome. Thank
Wow.
you.
Really nice. Really nice. And our, let me just see if I can scroll down. Oh, wow, there's so many people. Aw, you're welcome, Carol. I'm sorry if you couldn't see me. And Cece, yes, that resonates. I sing a lot. So that's the breath work for Cece.
Hmm.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Really neat. Really neat. Okay.
Hmm.
And the last question for the night. Whoops. I'm sorry. I was trying to unstar
Nancy.
that. Is Nancy Riker.
Okay.
Woo woo, spiritual
Hmm.
read. Thank
Hmm.
you, everybody. Nancy, what I'm getting for you, and I know you want a spiritual read, but they're asking for what I'm getting is that they want you to go back to games and recreation in your life. It's important to take that time off and to have like a game that you can concentrate on. What they're actually showing me is like bowling, where you would have to do the math, you would have to do the strategic type games that you would challenge yourself, and it would take you away from things that you're working on every day. And then you just need some sort of recreation, but something with focus. You really like to focus and a little bit of skill. You could do like they're saying like a pinochle or some sort of a strategic card game, but some
Hmm.
sort of a recreational activity. That's I've never gotten that before, and it's fascinating. And you have
I've
been
never
getting
heard the word pinochle come out of your mouth ever.
And you have been getting spiritual messages like crazy, and they're telling you to do your work, and now they're saying stop doing work and add some recreation.
There
There's
you
got to be
go,
a
Nancy.
balance.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
has to be. And that's exactly what I've got here. Creation of healthy boundaries and self-love. So, you are being asked to make sure that you stop. And if you can't do something, it's okay. We all have to make boundaries. We all didn't learn how to do that when we were younger because there wasn't something that was brought up. But self love and how important it is. We have to love ourselves no matter what. I mean, sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I'll go, oh, who's that fat person? But, and then I go, oops, cancel. We just have to say, I love myself for who I am and what I am and where I am at this period in time for the highest good of all, for me, that kind of thing. But it is hard to do. Self-love is not easy. It seems easy, but I was always told that if you did that, you were selfish. And I don't believe that's true. So,
no,
yeah.
no. Well, that was a fun little blitz at the very end,
It
and
was. Thank you.
just to get our connection going. Well,
Uh-huh.
thank you. I know you're a very, very busy person, Allie, and I really do thank you for your time and for coming on and allowing me to talk about things that are really important to me and to find out more about you that I find we have so much in common. And just thank you for what you do for this community. I
Thank
really,
you.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you
I
for what
really
you do, because really everybody's part in the puzzle, all those pieces have to fit together and interlock for us to be who we are. And so I appreciate and that goes for the subscribers and moderators and everybody.
absolutely. All the moderators, thank you, everybody who is here, who is watching later. We really appreciate you, and we really value your time and effort and the love that you share. It's really important.
Absolutely.
So nice, so
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you,
All right,
Jean.
we'll
Hmm.
call it a night. Everybody
All
have
right.
a wonderful evening, and we'll
Bye-bye.
see you again soon. Bye bye now.
Bye-bye.